Russia is threatening to unleash new massive missiles, capable of striking anywhere in Europe after dozens of US and UK-made rockets were fired into Kursk. In a dramatic development on Wednesday, up to 12 Storm Shadow rockets were launched at targets in the southern Russian province, where Kiev troops have seized territory. Fragments of the Storm Shadow missiles were recovered by Russian military bloggers on Wednesday afternoon, and unverified pictures posted on social media. The Mail understands the attacks, which followed Ukraine firing supplied ATACMS missiles on Tuesday, were personally approved by Sir Keir Starmer. In retaliation, Russia is now preparing to launch its deadly RS-26 or Frontier missiles from a base in Astrakhan by the Caspian Sea, local media has reported. The weapons weigh up to 50 tons and have a range of 3,600 miles, although they have never been used in combat. Kyiv has instead been hit by smaller, slower Iskander missiles since the war began in February 2022. The Kremlin has already warned this week it would respond harshly to the sanctioning of the use of US and UK-made missiles on Russian territory. According to Moskovsky Komsomolets, a Moscow-based newspaper, a military expert had openly talked about retaliation. Timur Sulanov, a Russian military analyst, said Ukraine should be trembling over the use of the RS-26 rocket. In this situation, we will not use nuclear weapons, but the neo-Nazis and their Western allies, I think, will appreciate in the coming days the blow that will be dealt to Ukraine's critical infrastructure and possibly to targets in Kyiv itself. Let them tremble, be afraid, and wait for landings anywhere. Moreover, the enemy understands perfectly well that our weapons can reach any targets throughout Ukraine. Putin yesterday provocatively signed off changes to the country's laws on nuclear weapons to make it easier for them to be deployed against Ukraine. And his foreign minister Sergei Lavrov chillingly warned that the strikes by Ukraine were a clear signal that Kyiv wanted to escalate and that Russia would react accordingly. The terrifying saber rattling was confirmed by the Russian president's close ally Dmitry Medvedev. Posting on X, the deputy chair of Russia's Security Council said it meant World War II. It came after Kyiv launched 6 ATACMS rockets from an undisclosed location over the border into Russian territory on Tuesday. The strikes triggered a fiery explosion at a depot in Kursk, believed to be storing ammunition supplied by North Korea, around 75 miles from the Ukrainian border. As tensions escalate in the Russia-Ukraine war, the UK's defense secretary announced the British military would be hit by £500 million worth of cuts. John Healey said the Labour government would scrap 6 major programs across the armed forces, including the Army's main fleet of drones and 2 amphibious assault ships, ATACMS, Albion, and HIMS Bulwark. The plans have been criticized by former Defense Secretary Ben Wallace, who argued they would send a message of weakness to the UK's adversaries. Writing in The Telegraph, he said, "For our enemies to be deterred, they must know we intend to have no holes in our capabilities, or at least we will soon be upgrading them. To tell the world we are scaling back our capabilities when our enemies are doing the opposite is pure folly. No one is fooled by the tired and misleading excuse by Labour that we have to wait for a defense reviews. Yet another one." In videos recorded in the village of Maryak in Russia's Kursk region, yesterday, multiple explosions were heard preceded by high-pitched whistling apparently from incoming missiles. The footage also showed smoke rising from buildings. Unconfirmed reports suggested Ukraine had targeted an underground command and control facility 50 miles inside Russia with Storm Shadow missiles. The navigational data and satellite intelligence, which facilitated the airstrikes, was understood to have been provided by the US. The strikes, which have not been confirmed by the British government, follow the use of UK Storm Shadows to eliminate Russian military infrastructure in Crimea. The significant difference is that while the UK regards occupied Crimea as Ukrainian sovereign territory, Kursk is recognized by Britain as belonging to Russia. It is understood that the last time British weapons were used on Russian sovereign territory was during clashes between an Allied force and the Bolsheviks in the Arctic Archangel region in 1918-19. Before that, it was during the Crimean War in the 1850s. Speaking in the comments, Mr. Healey declined to confirm the reports or divulge any operational details. He told Empire, "We have seen over recent weeks a significant change in the Russian action and the rhetoric on Ukraine. We as a nation and a government are doubling down on our support for Ukraine and intend to do more."